Hey y'all, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Tom with RV Texas, y'all.
Welcome back to another Wingin' It Wednesday.
Yeah, where this Wednesday you'll get the rest of the story. So stay tuned.
Okay, y'all, I know you want to know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But first, since this is episode 2 of Wingin' It Wednesday, let's talk about the rules. What we do is we tell you what topic we're going to talk about. I set the timer on my phone for 10 minutes. We talk about that topic for 10 minutes, wherever the conversation takes us. And when the timer goes off, we wrap things up. So, 10 minutes on the clock. We're winging it. So the rest of the story, what do we mean?
Well, the rest of the story is, well, first of all, we did, if you saw our video on Sunday, we did get the house sold, and now it is funded.
Woo!
Yes! Yes! But the rest of the story was, we've got some tips here because it didn't go at all the way we expected. At the end of the day, the old term back in the 90s, I think, the end of the day, everything was fine. We got everything we were supposed to get, but it didn't go in the order the way we really thought. And we wanted to, fill y'all in on it because there's some details here that we really think can help people. Because there's no way if we don't sell houses every day, you don't know the details on FHA loans and stuff like that. And what ended up happening to us is they moved up our closing. And, y'all saw that on the last video. And we sold everything on Facebook and stuff. And that came out great. We don't need to go into that. But the thing was, with us, we found out we had an FHA loan. We even forgot that. We didn't even know we had an FHA loan. We found that out after the fact. But with an FHA loan, the interest, when they give a payoff to the title company, the payoff, the interest goes through the end of the month, no matter when you close in that month. If you close on the 15th, you're going to pay the same as if you closed on the 27th.
Or if you close on the 2nd, you're going to pay the same.
Yeah, they allow you to go through the first of the month to not accrue that month's interest. But once you go to the second of the month, if your loan does not get paid off by end of business, then there's a whole nother month of interest. And we closed on the 1st, so we should have been okay.
Right.
And we did not know any of this stuff going into it. So, the closing went great. We signed. The buyers came in after us. They signed.
Yep.
There was evidently a mishap on when the money came in from their lender to pay off the house and everything and the amount they're supposed to pay. And it didn't match up.
There was
totally.
Some miscommunication or something that happened somewhere along the way.
It didn't quite pay enough, and I guess I think it's a Texas state law. It may be a government law, a U.S. law. I'm not sure, but that the title company couldn't just say, oh, well, it's a little short, but we can still pay off their loan and everything. No, evidently it has to match the contract exactly, which I understand. So they couldn't pay off our note right away because the funds didn't match. So by the time they got it settled with the other bank
on Friday,
it was too late to pay off our loan.
Right.
It was into business. It was already past business. So now it went to the 2nd. Well, the 2nd is even Saturday.
Right.
So
banks are closed.
Banks are closed. So it went to the Monday. But now we didn't realize, obviously, that it would be a whole month of interest now that we were going to get charged. Now, we did find that out late Friday night when we talked to the title company, and obviously the new buyers, which are great people.
Oh, they're fantastic.
We've met them since.
That's the good thing about all this is we got to know the buyers a little bit.
That's
and
a great
we're super
thing.
excited.
And we
that
know
they've
the
got
house is going to be in phenomenal hands,
Yeah.
and really that gave us even a different peace of mind, which is wonderful. And we can't wait to meet them in person sometime very soon. But then we found out when it was too late, obviously, that it was going to be a lot more interest. That would be a hit for us. But we're like, no, we didn't make that error. So we wanted them to pay it, whoever them was, you know, the other bank, the other, you know, somebody else, because it was everybody
whoever
agreed.
made the mistake.
Whoever made the mistake.
We don't
Everybody
know.
agreed it wasn't our mistake. I mean, we did exactly what we're supposed to do. And so they all agreed they'd work it out on Monday. So that was fine. And we gave the buyers the keys because, yeah, I mean, they sat there for 5 hours trying to work this out, and we didn't even realize they were sitting there.
We
And,
felt horrible about that.
yeah. So we were glad they got the keys, and then they were happy. So then we got to Monday. We did get funded on the loan,
Yep.
which that was great. So we followed up with a phone call to our
Mortgage company
to see how that went, and they did. The loan was funded, so we had a zero balance, except that additional interest did come out of our account because we had an escrow account, and since it was short on the wire, literally they had to pay what was on the contract. If they didn't, that probably would have changed the closing date and everything.
Right.
So they did have to pay the amount, I believe, that was on the contract, or we would have had to sign some new paperwork, I'm sure. But then it came out of us, so then we were on the hook for the additional $1,000. So we got a hold of the title company, and they worked with everybody. And in a nutshell, our real estate, our company that represented us, they stepped up and they cut us a check.
Yep.
For the additional interest, so we weren't out that money. So they, at the end of the day, they totally took care of us, and
the buyer's realtor was really good, and
he was very responsive. He was on top of it at the very beginning. Really felt bad. Everybody felt bad for us.
Right.
Unfortunately, they all wanted to. You know, they're all protecting their own interest. We understand that.
It's human nature.
Yeah, but you know, we just wanted to be funded what we should have been funded, and we did end up get funded that.
Exactly.
So we're happy about that, but none of that would have happened if a couple things would have happened instead. We had the house ready. They did the walkthrough on Wednesday. We could have closed on the 28th, February 28th.
Which was a Thursday.
Which would have given us a whole day of leeway. So what we'd recommend, if you have an FHA loan, close the last day of the month or the day before the last day of the month. Give yourself some time to where if there is any issue at all in funding or whatever, that the next day they can get it worked out and that no additional interest will be.
And I think that's good for any loan, really.
Yeah.
I mean, an FHA loan, it really is important because you want to avoid that whole entire month's worth of interest, because if you close on the 2nd on an FHA loan, you're going to be on the hook for a month. But any loan, if you can close first of all, on a Thursday instead of a Friday, so if anything goes wrong, the banks are open the next day to help you work it out. If you can avoid closing on the 1st of the month, if you can close toward the end of the month, obviously that's a good thing too.
Yeah, I think just give yourself a few days of leeway, or at least one day.
Right.
If we would have closed on the 28th, there would be no issues, basically.
We could have taken care of it. Everybody could have taken care of it the next day.
The next day, it would have been no problem. They could have figured it out. It would have already been figured out because they had the proper money. Then they could have paid off our loan the next day. It would have been the same amount. There would have been no change. Now, granted, if you don't have an FHA, there may, if it's a standard regular loan, there may have been a little interest the next day because that bank has to get paid off. But still, it's not a ton of money.
Right.
You know, and a ton of money still is relative, but for us it was a lot of money.
Right.
And we're really happy that it worked out the way it did. It was stressful. I mean, to say it wasn't stressful, it was stressful on everybody. Everybody involved. This was a very stressful situation. I think it could have been avoided. But now we know, that's why we're sharing it, and hopefully you can avoid this situation when you're selling your house. If you are, I mean, even if you're not going to go full-time in an RV, one day I'm sure you're going to sell a house.
Right.
Everybody does.
And we've sold houses before. I mean, this is not our first house. We've never had this issue. It's just something happened, human error or computer error or something somewhere along the way, and because we were on a Friday afternoon, it just compounded it.
And to be honest with you, we weren't even sure. We had signed, they got the keys, and the transaction seemed to be over. But, you know, until you're totally funded, it never...
It's like, who owns the house?
Who owns the house? Do we own it? Do we still keep our insurance on the house? You know, so we were in limbo for a few days.
Oh, there we go.
That's it. So that topic is done, and that's in the past anyway.
So, what's coming up on Sunday, real quick?
On Sunday, we're going through, we did a video about our Super Bowl Sunday experience, our first time on the road with Super Bowl Sunday, and the things that we cooked and stuff, which we had a lot
Y'all
of
have
good
been
stuff.
asking for some cooking.
So we got some good things we cooked.
Had a few challenges.
We had some serious challenges, but we had a great Super Bowl Sunday. We had some great food to eat, but it was very challenging. So, you know, on Sunday, stay tuned and see that video. I think you'll enjoy it.
In the meantime, we'd love to see your comments on this video. Drop us a line and let us know.
Do you have any other tips?
Please.
About helping people close on their house?
We know a lot of people are in this situation. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, so you can join us on this adventure, as we are officially nomads, and what you see is what we have.
Yeah, hit like on the video if you liked it, and share it with your friends.
And until next time, y'all, safe travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
Bye.